the diagram below, the graphs of f of x and g of x are drawn for the interval negative 19 to 40. And then now they say A and B are the y-intercepts of f and g respectively. Okay, sure. So in this case, now they drew the graphs for us. They gave us the formulae. So there's no sketching. They won't ask us about sketching. Let's just jump right into it. 7.1. Now they say determine the length of AB. So let me just highlight it here to show. Here's my AB. Ne? And then I know Hore, my A is my x-intercept of f, and then my B is my not x-intercept, y-intercept rather. So my A is my y-intercept of f, and my B is my y-intercept of g. So to just find the length, basically, I must know what is A, what is B, subtract them. Ne? So let me start by finding A and B of cos of 0 must be equals to y, right? Then what is my cos of 0? That's 1. Then a half multiplied by 1, that's half. So sharp. Now I know what my coordinates of A are 0 and positive half. Go to B. For B now, that is my graph of G there. So I'm going to have now y is equals to sine of 0 minus 30 degrees. Yeah? It's basically sine of minus 30. And then that's going to be what? A negative half. Sine of minus 30. That's going to be negative half. So basically, my B is going to be what? 0 and negative half. So here I have positive half, negative half. Therefore, my AB will just be my A minus my B. Okay? And basically, I'm just subtracting my y values of A and B because I'm moving vertically. So A, that's half minus negative half. That's also plus half, which is what? AB. Okay? 7.2. Now they say write down the range of 3 times f of x plus 2. Let me just remove here. Okay, so for this one, so for these kinds of questions, I want you to do this, né? Especially specifically looking at trig functions. So they want the range of, what's this? 3 times f of x plus 2. So what you're going to do before you even look at this, né? You are going to look for the range of now my f of x, right? And as we saw by what Tumelo told us, obviously that's gonna be my highest value of half, and then my lowest value over minus half. Why? Because of my amplitude that is there, right? Y is an element of negative half to positive half. Square brackets because it's included. So now negative half. So okay, so now they are making a change, né? They're making a change. So basically, let's start with my lowest value now. So my lowest value now is changing how is it changing? So it's going to be 3 now minus half and then a plus 2. Whatever that's gonna be, whatever it's gonna be, that's gonna be my new. Okay, so I'll have minus 3 over 2 and then a plus 2. What is that? That's a half. Please check that for me, but I think that's a half. Okay? And then now I'm going to my maximum value. this guy. That's going to be 3 positive half plus 2. It's going to be, are you guys checking there?
Yeah, I can have.
And then this one is going to be what? 7 over 2. No? My new range will be what? A new range. Y is an element of half and 7 over 2. So that's an easy way. And you can see it's just the 2 marks. 7.3, read off from the graphs a value of x. So we want the value of x for which f of x minus g of x is equal to root 3 over 2. So basically, no, g of x minus f of x. So my g must be above and then my f must be below. Yeah? Where is that? I see it here. My g is above. There it is. Until more. And then my f will be below until here. Do we see that? Ne? Sharp. But they're saying read off. So that's something you can read off. So another thing I want you guys to see now. Root 3 over 2. That's a what's this? That's what you get from that's what you get from a special angle. Ne? That's what you get from a special angle. So now if I say, okay, it will be any value between here. Okay, so it can be 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, whatever. Because I'm going to basically I'm subtracting a point from here and from here, then I'm getting 3 over 2. So let me start. And already for me, I can see it's 90. Why? Because of my side. Ne? Look, for my g of x, that's what is above. Okay? So it will be sine of 90 minus 30, basically. Ne? That's sine of 60. And a sine of 60, that's root 3 over 2. Special angle, right? There it is. And then if I have root 3 over 2, I know Horomo already. For my half cos of 90, I have a 0 because that's my x-intercept. So if I have a root 3 over 2 and I have a 0 and I say root 3 over 2 minus 0, that gives me the 0. Are we seeing that, ne? 7.4 for which values of x ne? In the interval negative 19 to 40. So that's basically my whole graph ne? From negative 90 to 240. Will f of x times g of x, okay, you know, these are your favorite questions, guys. F of x times g of x must be what? Positive. So where will my positive y values of x and negative positive y values of y sharp positive y values of f multiplied by my positive y values of g be positive? Ne? So that's gonna be, how will I get a positive first of all if I'm multiplying two numbers? I would have a positive times a positive that will give me a positive, or a negative times a negative that will give me a positive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at my graphs. Ne? Or for the same interval, do I have a graph of f lowering a positive and for g a positive, or a graph of f lowering a negative and a g lowering a negative? So I will start now. I'm scrolling. So here I can see, let me go from here to here. So it's the same, what's this? The same intervals, right? So now here my f is positive, but then my g is negative. So it doesn't qualify. And then until 30 now. Let me change color. So moving until 30. It's 30. My F is still positive. My G is negative. So I'm just analyzing with you guys here. Then from there, let's see. From now 30, I can see that my G starts to become positive. So I have positive values of G. Okay. Until where? Here. And then my F is still positive. But until where? Until 90. Because from 90, my F becomes negative. But then what I can see, go from 30 until 90, both of my graphs are positive. So they satisfy this guy. Yeah? So that's my first answer. Then I'm continuing. I'm still analyzing. Go on, okay. Now from 90 until where? Let's see. Until 210, my G is positive, but then my F is negative. So when I multiply them, they will give me a negative. But then from 210 until 240, both of my F and my G are negative. So when I multiply them, they're gonna give me positive. So even here, that's where my answer is satisfied, or my restriction is satisfied. So here's what my answer will be. Stay with X is less than or greater than 30 degrees, but then less than 90 degrees. Or X now must be greater than 210 degrees and less than 240 degrees. Yeah? 7.4.2 without wasting any of your time. Now they say same question for which values of X in the interval. Now please look properly for this one. G prime of X minus 5 degrees greater than 0. So my G prime X is my gradient. Ne? So now, if Babu is now G prime X minus 5 degrees must be greater than 0. So basically, my gradient must be greater than 0. Ne?
Yeah.
In a nutshell. Mara, obviously, when we move the graph 5 units, what's this? To the right.
To the right.
To the right. So let's see. For my gradient to be positive, my graph basically must be increasing. Ne? And that's for my graph of G. And I can see, okay, my graph of G is increasing here. Do we see that? Ne? That's my gradient basically. It's going upwards. So it's gonna be from where to where? Again, it's gonna be from my turning point basically. Because here's my turning point until where? My other turning point here. Ne? Until my other turning point here. Ashifa. But that's just for my G. Don't even worry, or why am I not taking into consideration the X minus 5? So I know okay, my gradient of G, ne? So basically my G prime X is positive where X now is from negative 60 to positive 180, right? So, okay, I can say X must be greater than negative 60 degrees and less than 120 degrees. or I can have x is an element of now minus 60 degrees to positive 120. Do we agree with that? Ne? Like what?
Yeah.
It's clear. But that's just for g of x. So for g prime x minus 5 to be greater than 0, as we said, corollary, the x minus 5, that means we are moving 5 units where? To the right. Okay? 5 units to the right. And if now here I'm moving 5 units to the right, so from minus 60, if I have to move 5 units to the right, I must add 5. Yeah? And I get off like I go minus 55. Okay?
Yeah.
So must be less than x. Then I go 120, still moving 5 units to the right. I must add 5. Then I'll end up at what? 125. Yeah? Now
Part 2 will be discussed in the next video. For now, subscribe and go practice mathematics. You are writing paper 1 on the 3rd of November in case you forgot. Are you still here? I'm gonna have to tell your teacher that you're busy lazying around. Follow me on Instagram at Tsebo's Tutoring Academy, then go and practice mathematics.